Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from amandacrochets.com, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful scuba corner to corner blankets. Now I called it the scuba blanket because the yarn I'm using is called Scuba, and I thought it was a very nice kind of like oceany color, and it's an ombre yarn, which means it goes from dark to light to back to dark again, and I really like that a lot. And I like this because it's a nice textured stitch, and it looks a little bit complicated, but it's actually very easy. And I just added a 2-row repeat of a ribbing border on the edge. So follow along and I will show you how to make this beautiful baby blanket. So for the materials for this blanket, you're going to need 2 skeins of Red Heart Super Saver Ombre, and I am going to be using the Scuba color, and this is what this color looks like. It's all these different shades of this blue, and then it goes to a lighter blue, and then it goes back to that darker blue. So I really like this, and actually the pattern on the label is exactly what this color will look like. So you're going to need 2 skeins of that, and then you're also going to need a size J 6mm crochet hook. As always, I'm using my Clover More. All the links to the items that I'm using, the materials that I'm using, are going to be linked below in the description. So to get started, you're going to make a slip knot. And there's various ways to make slip knots, so whatever's most comfortable for you. And then to start, you're going to chain 6. So to make a chain, you're going to do yarn over your hook, insert your hook through that loop, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that you have your 6 chains, you're going to count 3 chains from the beginning. So this is your beginning chain right here. You're going to count 3 chains. So 1, 2, and 3. And that is where you're going to work. So you're going to do yarn over your hook, and you're going to do a double crochet in that stitch, or in that chain, and in each chain across. So you're basically skipping the first 3 chains, and in that 4th chain you're going to make a double crochet. So yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops remain on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and that is your double crochet. So you're going to do 1 double crochet in the remaining 2 chains. So you have this one right here, and then this one, okay. So once you have that, this is going to be your first box, as I'm going to call it. So once you have your first box, that completes row 2. So instead of going back and forth for your rows, you're actually going to be going up, kind of like on a diagonal like this. So again, to go to row 2 and to make your next box, you're going to make chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to turn your work, and then again you're going to count up 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to make a double crochet in that chain, and in the next 2 chains after that. So then your work's going to look something like this, and you want your work to actually go like this. So in order to do that, you have this chain 3 space right here. You're going to insert your hook underneath that chain 3 space, and you're going to yarn over and you're going to do yarn over your loop. So you're going to make, that's how you are going to make the slip stitch. And then your work is together, and then you're going to do chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then after that you're going to do 3 double crochets all in that chain 3 space right here. So 1, 2, and 3. So this is what your second row is going to look like. So again, you have this tail right here, so this is your first box, and then your second row has 2 boxes. So the more boxes that you have, the bigger your blanket is going to get. So you're always going to work on that angle, like I said. So let me zoom up a little bit. So again, to go on to row 3, you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to count 3 chains up. So 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to make a double crochet in that chain, and then in the next 2 chains, so here and here, you're going to make 1 double crochet. Okay, and then again your work is like this, so to make your work more like that, you're going to find that chain 3 space, and you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop, and pull through that loop on your hook, and that is your slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 3, and in that chain 3 space you're going to make 3 double crochets. Okay, then to finish the row, you have another box right here. So in order to finish, you're going to make a slip stitch in that chain 3. Then you're going to chain 3 and make 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. And that is basically how you're going to make your corner to corner. So you want to keep doing that over and over, and you want to make your blanket 30 by 30, so on each side you should have 30, and a tape measure would really help with that to make sure you have your desired width. Now if you want to make this a bigger blanket, feel free to do that. You are just going to need maybe another skein of the Super Saver ombre yarn, but I am just going to make my blanket a 30 by 30 blanket. So you want to make sure each side is going to be 30 by 30, and that will be a nice size square. And once you reach that, I will show you how to decrease the sides so you can round out your square so everything looks nice, and then I will show you how to continue on to the border after that. So keep making your box stitches just like I showed you over and over until you reach 30 inches long and wide. Okay, so now that you have increased to the desired width, which in my case is a 30 by 30 width, now you need to decrease your corner to corner stitches in order to fill out the rest of your square. So in order to do this, you would stop right here. So remember, when you increased, you would chain 6 and continue on making your boxes. So instead, we're just going to simply turn your work, and you have 3 double crochets right here on top, plus that chain 3 space. So to decrease, all you're going to do is you're going to do a slip stitch in each of those 3 double crochets and in that chain 3 space, and then you're going to continue making your box stitches. So to make a slip stitch, you're just going to insert your hook, yarn over your hook, pull through that stitch and also that loop on your hook. Okay, again, insert your hook, slip stitch through that stitch and the loop on your hook, the next one, and in that chain 3 space you're just going to go right into that space to make your slip stitch. Okay, and then next after that you're going to make chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and in that chain 3 space you're going to make 3 double crochets like you have been making. And the more that you do this, you'll see your work flattening out on the top. So once you make that first box, you should see that the top is flattening out a little bit. So you want to do this on both sides, and in between you're just going to make your box stitches like you have been. So again, 3 double crochet, 3 chains, and then 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So I'm going to continue this all the way to the other side, and I will show you how to end that side and then again start the next row. Okay, so I'm coming up on my last box, so I'm just going to slip stitch and then chain 3 and then 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then to end your row, you are simply just going to make a slip stitch in that chain 3 space, and that will be how you end your row. And then you're going to start just like you did, and all you're going to do is turn your work, and you're going to make 1 slip stitch in each of those 3 double crochets, and in that chain 3 space you're going to make another slip stitch. And again, this will even out the sides of your blanket and make them straight. And then you will just continue as normal in the middle of your blanket with your box stitches. And the more you go along, you'll see your blanket getting smaller and smaller due to your decreases. So just continue in this way until you reach the end, and I will show you how to end your blanket and move on to the border. So just continue making your decreased stitches like I showed you across your entire blanket, and I will again meet you at the very end to show you how to finish your blanket and move on to the border. So I'm coming up onto the very end where I'm making my last square. So all you're going to do is just finish up by turning your work, and again you're going to make a slip stitch over those 3 double crochets, and a slip stitch in that chain 3 space, chain 3, 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So 1, 2, and 3. And then to finish up your project, you're just going to simply make a slip stitch into that chain 3 space, and that finishes your corner to corner blanket. So what I did for the border is I did kind of a ribbing effect. So I am going to chain up 2 and turn. If you want to use a different color, feel free, but I'm just going to be using the same color as I really like this a lot. So you're going to do chain 2 and turn your work. And I just started off by making a double crochet row, and in each corner I did 3 double crochets to help round that corner out just a little bit more. So with the corner to corner, you're going to have some stitches like right here where you can easily go work into, and then other stitches it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see. So I will show you how to kind of determine how many stitches to make. So now that we reach that corner, you're going to make 3 double crochets. And then it kind of rounds out your corner nicely, like I said. And then to work down the first side of your blanket, you're going to have some stitches, like I said, that's going to be easy, like right here, and then other stitches where it might be a little bit difficult over here. So I will show you how to do both. But now, when you have stitches like this, where you have the double crochets working this way, you're simply just going to work in the top of those 3 double crochet stitches. Might be a little bit difficult just because you have that slip stitch on top. Okay, and the third stitch. Now to do the next one is, you can see your stitches are going sideways. So what I like to do is I like to see that chain 3, and I just go around that entire chain 3 space and I just do 3 double crochets. And then you would kind of alternate that all the way down across the side of your blanket with the 3 double crochets on top of the 3 double crochets, and in that chain 3 space you make 3 double crochets. And then don't forget, you're going to make 3 double crochets in each corner. So I'm going to go ahead and work the side of this blanket, and then I will show you how to make the corner when I get to the corner of this blanket. Okay, so I'm coming up on the corner, so again you're going to do 3 double crochets into that corner. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So before I continue, I just wanted to show you what the side looks like. So again, you're going to have sets of 3, so when you have your double crochets showing up on top just like this, you're going to have 3 double crochets, so 1 in each stitch. And then when you have your double crochets going sideways, you're going to make 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So as long as you have sets of 3, you should be good to go. You have 3 sets. So you're going to be doing this all the way around your blanket, and that will help make everything nice and even. And then we will move on to the next portion of our border. So just make 1 single crochet in each stitch around, just like I showed you with this side, and 3 double crochets into that corner, and then I will show you how to make that next round of your border. Okay, I'm coming up on the end of my blanket, so I'm making 1 more double crochet here, and that chain 2 that you made at the very beginning, you're not going to count that as a stitch, so you're actually going to skip over that, and you are going to find that next double crochet, and you're simply just going to slip stitch, so that way your round is complete. Then you're going to do chain 2 and turn your work again, and this time we're going to be doing a ribbing stitch. So this includes back post and front post double crochets. So you can start with whatever you like, but I'm going to start with a front post. So you're going to yarn over your hook, and you're going to find that first double crochet, which is right here. You're going to insert your hook behind, so you're going to go from the right behind that stitch, pop that stitch up, and you're going to have your double crochet on top of your crochet hook, and then you're just going to finish the front post double crochet with a double crochet like you normally would. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, and then you're going to make a back post double crochet in the next double crochet. So the difference is you're going to do yarn over, and you're going to go from behind and over that double crochet. So that way your double crochet is behind you, and you're going to again yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that way the stitch is in the front, and then the next stitch is going to be in the back. So you're just going to alternate front post double crochet and back post double crochet all the way down. So I'll show you again on how to do those stitches. Let me just finish this one up here. So again, to make the front post double crochet, you're going to do yarn over, and then you're going to insert your hook from the right, go underneath that stitch and pop it up, and your double crochet is going to be on top of your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And then to do the back post double crochet, you're going to do yarn over, and then from behind you're going to come in and then have that double crochet be underneath your hook, and then just go over just like that, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So you're just gonna again alternate doing the front post and back post double crochet, and then when we get to the corner I will show you how to do that, as it's a little bit different. So just work your alternating double front post and back post double crochets, and I will meet up with you at the corner. So when you do your front post and back post, you kind of get that little bit of a ridge, and it's the same on both sides. So then when you get to the corner, remember you have those 3 stitches in the corner. So whatever you ended with, so for me I ended with a front post double crochet, and when you do the corner you're just going to alternate again the same way. So if I ended with a front post, I'm going to do a back post, front post, and back post. Now if you ended with a back post, then you're going to do a front post, back post, and front post. So it doesn't really matter what you end up with, just make sure that you alternate all the way around in your corner. Okay, and then after you do your corner, you're just going to do the same thing around the other side of your blanket. And again, so I ended up with a back post double crochet, and I went around this stitch right here. So in that very next stitch, which is going to be this one, I'm going to do a front post. And that kind of makes your blanket nice and rounded. So you're going to do this all the way around to make sure that you alternate again your front post and back post double crochets, including the corner. And when you get to the end, you're just going to simply slip stitch, and I will show you how to continue making another round of the border. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end of my border, so I have one more stitch to go, which for me is going to be the back post double crochet. Now if you make your border and it doesn't come out as even as you would like, meaning you have one front post, one back post double crochet, I wouldn't really worry about that too much, because when you have everything together, you're not going to see it that much. So once you make your final stitch, you want to find that first stitch that you made, which is going to be right here, and you're just going to slip stitch around that entire stitch that you just made. So that completes your first row of your border. Now to move on to the second row, you're simply just going to chain up 2, and you're going to follow that same pattern. So wherever you made your front post double crochet, you're going to make a front post double crochet on top of that stitch, and again wherever you made that back post double crochet, you're going to make another back post double crochet. So this first stitch right here is a front post, so I'm simply just going to work around that stitch, complete my double crochet, and then move on to the next one. So you're going to have 2 rows of this ribbing, and I think it will turn out very pretty. So again, just alternate front post and back post double crochet all the way around your blanket, and again just complete that all the way around, no matter what. Just follow what you did in the row before. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my border, and then I will show you how to weave in ends and your blanket will be complete. Alright, so I'm just finishing up my blanket, so I'm just going to make that final slip stitch around the post, and then I'm going to cut some yarn. You're going to make about about that length or so, just so you have enough yarn to weave in, and then you're just going to slip stitch that just like that, pull tight, and then with your tapestry needle you're just going to weave in your ends. You can weave your ends in however you like. I kind of just like to go back and forth a couple of times just to make sure that it is woven in properly. I do have a separate video on how to weave in your ends, so I will leave that video link below in the description box, just in case you want a little bit more practice with how to weave in your ends. Again, I just like to go back and forth a couple of times just to make sure that everything is woven in properly and it's not going to come out at all. And with this yarn, you kind of want to try and weave in your yarn with the same color. And then once you finish that, you want to just cut your yarn and you have your blanket. So your border is going to be 2 rows of that ribbing, so it looks very nice. And because this is an ombre or color changing yarn, your yarn is going to be different. So as you can see, the border is a little bit of a lighter blue, and then it's that very light blue on top. So I really enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy it too and give it a try. And this is a very nice color changing blanket. You can make this in any color. They have other colors available in this ombre line, so if you're interested in checking the other colors out, you can definitely make this for a little girl or for a little boy. And let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit more so you can see everything. So thank you so much for joining me today on how to make this Scuba corner to corner blanket. I hope you give this blanket a try and enjoyed making this blanket with me today. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see all future videos by me. And as always, if you want to see any video in particular, please leave me a comment below. I love to hear from you. Thank you so much again, and have a great day. Bye.